everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, Terrace House Podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I'm Robert Scarpinier, and I'm joined here by Daily Wilhelm,
Konbanwa,
Jack Cepeda.
I sniffed your laundry.
Ooh.
Okay, nope. Or hold on, we need to talk about this. And Colin Sparley.
So like, you know how dogs lay around all day? Like, what do they do on their day off?
Fuck.
I have three questions.
Yeah, I have three questions for the room. That's
more questions about Kai.
welcome to my tight five. I have three questions.
Yeah. So we are celebrating episode 100, guys. Come pie, get those drinks up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're doing episode 100 by talking about stand-up comedy. That's what we're doing at Tadaima.
Oh man, cheers,
Yeah.
guys.
Just saying.
Bottoms up.
We picked a wonderful episode to riff on.
For sure.
Yeah, we are various degrees of drunk here, but there's a lot to chew on this episode. So much happened. It was really good. Part 3 is fucking lit AF.
For sure. We don't normally. Oh yeah.
AF.
AF. We don't normally like pat ourselves in the back too much here, and we figured for our 100th episode we just do what we're so good at doing, riffing on Terrace House, but doing it while a little bit drunk.
We should go around. Just what's everyone drinking?
I guess I can kick it off. Right now I'm drinking a Petite Syrah called Pet Name that I got from a wine box that I will not say unless they pay us money and sponsor our show.
Wow.
And then to bolster that, because I'm already 75% of the way through the bottle, I've got another white wine called Kung Fu Girl.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
I've
trend-
seen that around.
It's pretty
Always
good. I've
looks
had
good.
it. Yeah, it's good.
Very on trend. I guess I'll go next. So I was drinking a Kirin Ichiban. Now I've got a Sapporo Reserve beer, and to my right flank, I have a lot of Asahi Super Dry, which I see them drink a lot on Terrace House. So it's kind of related to the show. So
They
I'm
do
just
drink a lot of
pairing it up.
Asahi.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot. So yeah, I'm on brand.
Daily.
Yeah.
I live in the great state of Washington, so I've just had these strawberry belts.
They're belts.
Yeah, like the sour
Oh.
kind.
Oh, fun.
It's good.
Good
shit.
times. I'm jealous.
And for me, I got a Cabernet Sauvignon
Are you serious?
and a Pinot Noir.
Sauvignon.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Oh my
a fillet
fucking
mignon.
God.
Did you know that means black penis?
Wait,
Psychic
what?
damage. What is this?
Pinot Noir.
I thought I was cringing from Kai, but
Because
Y'all
Pinot
are-
sounds like penis and Noir is black.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's no way that's
Christ.
accurate.
No, it's not even a little accurate.
Yeah, if you guys were hoping for like a good podcast this week, we're sorry. we're celebrating, man. We haven't been outside, okay, in a month. This is the first like drop alcohol I've had, seriously, like probably since January of this year. I was sick a lot. I had the flu in February, and so I didn't drink that whole month. And then the whole thing went down, and I have not drank since being, indoors in my house for this last 5-6 weeks or whatever it is. I'm taking the opposite approach. I see a lot of people, though, when I go take out trash, there's nothing but empty liquor bottles and stuff like everywhere. I'm taking the opposite approach. I'm going pretty straight edge, I guess.
In the great words of Conan O'Brien, the ceiling for alcoholism is higher in a quarantine.
Oh,
Yes.
100%.
True.
So I want to go around in the spirit of celebration before we dive into this episode. Round the table, what's been your favorite Tadaima memory or moment or whatever the fuck for the past 100 episodes, past about 2 years?
Man, it's been a trip. But I think the 2 episodes that really stick out to me, some of the most fun that we've had is having those 2 guests come on. We had Flesh Monk, friend of the show, awesome dude, came in, talked Terrace House with us. And of course, we had Eden Kai on the show as well, too. That was a big deal for us as just longtime fans of the show. We don't have any like extra social pull or any extra social power other than, hey, we do this little tiny show about Terrace House. So the fact that he would agree to come on the show here when he's on so many other shows with like millions and millions of listeners and stuff is like pretty cool of him. And he was like a solid dude, had an awesome hour conversation. He told us stuff he didn't tell anyone else before, even some of his close friends. So to me, that was always really special. If you guys haven't heard that interview with Eden Kai, audio's a little rough. admittedly, but that's what you got to deal with Skype and stuff. Trust me, would have wished it sounded better, but the stuff he was saying was fucking crazy. And so those are some of my most, I guess, proudest moments so far in the first 100 episodes.
Colin?
I think for me, yes, the Eden Kai thing would definitely be up there for me. I think the live react we did actually pretty recently too, where Pepe announced he's leaving at the end, and then we have where his manga comes out. And the fact that we live react to that was like the most emotional I'd ever been doing a live stream, or a live react. And I don't know, that just, it feels like it was one of those moments where I realized like that's why you do the show, a show like this. That's why I do the show with you guys and stuff like that. Like just enjoying doing the show and enjoying the show together. I think that's really what the show means to me in a lot of ways. And I think the other thing too is when we actually, even though it's kind of sad, the time we broke the news about Tokui, even though that it was like super depressing news, what it meant for us though was that we could really be on top of stuff like that, like goings-ons, current events in the Terrace House world, and we could be one of the first to report on it for an English-speaking audience. And so I think that's really servicing the needs and wants of the audience, and I was really proud of us able to really get that up quickly.
Yeah, that was impromptu for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Daily?
Yeah, did not expect something like that to happen. And I guess that's kind of goes with my favorite Tadaima moment. When we actually all were able to get together in person and record our first live react. And it was the whole thing with Masao and him getting his heart broken and like being able to like have such a huge moment be the first one that we all were together for. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like looking back at that.
Yeah, that's up there for sure. That was an awesome time getting to be
I
in a studio together.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and record like 3 or 4 episodes. Can't remember. It was a big chunk, but we did some good shows there. It was fun, man. Hopefully we get to do it again sometime in the future. Yeah,
in the post-corona world, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, y'all took some of my favorite bits too. I guess I'm trying to think of. Well, okay, so
you can say your least favorite moment. We can do that too.
I really hated episode 32, man. I don't remember what we said in it, but I
don't either. But fuck that particular number.
I do have a least favorite episode. I could talk about that if you want. We talked about it internally before. But go ahead. I don't want to take your moment.
It's all positivity. All of our episodes are great, including this one.
So positive.
But no, I think one of my favorite things about our show is just kind of seeing the community grow around our show. It's kind of been wild seeing just the fact that there are people out there who are like, man, these 4 idiots know what they're talking about. Like,
not really though. No, we fake it well.
You jest.
That's been really wild to just see this thing grow as much as it has. And I think the one thing I remember seeing on Twitter where I felt like, okay, we kind of made it, is, I guess, a quick shout out to this Twitter account. It's Out of Context Podcast. I think it's like @ Out of Podtext. They've tweeted us now twice with quotes from our show. And this is alongside like tons of other podcasts that I listen to myself, like podcasts that in my brain are like, they've made it. Those are real shows.
Right. They're like legit.
Yeah. And it's just really cool to be like, okay, this random Twitter account run by who knows who has decided that we are part of that conversation of good podcasters. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad to know that when I said, what was it? Something about hitting balls early in the morning. I'm so glad that that's like signal boosted on the internet. I didn't realize
that. So they actually quote real podcasts then, not just ours.
Yeah, no, we're not a fake podcast, Jack. Like, contrary to popular belief, we're a real podcast now.
We're a real boy.
This is all fake news right now.
We only exist in imaginary land.
Honestly, though, like, to do 100 episodes is so badass. I mean, how many times in your life can you celebrate doing 100 of anything? And it's been a journey, but it's gone quickly too. It doesn't seem like we've done 100 of these already, but man, I'm just looking forward to the next 100, I guess. Here's to that. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers. If you're driving, I don't know why you are, but if you are, don't drink with us.
Look at us.
Also, go home. It's quarantine.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought? Not
Who'd
me.
have thought?
Who'd have
Look
thought?
at us, guys. Hey.
Thanks, Paul Rudd. So enough of that fluffy bullshit out of the way. Let's talk about episode 30 of Tokyo 2019-2020. Not
Let's
guilty.
Unity Samurai, shout out.
Guilty. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to Taishi, man. Even though he didn't show up.
I think they're saying this is not guilty because you was talking about if Ryo was in the trial of love or something like that, he would be completely
Yeah.
innocent. I think that's where this title comes from.
Yeah, but like by a technicality, I'm pretty sure
Boo.
Ryo's looking a little worse for wear this episode.
Mhm,
So much to dive
mhm.
into this week. So
Oh,
where do we
yes.
start?
Let's start at the beginning, as we always do. We're with the panel again, and Chiemi Burusan is there once more, the comedian lady who's sitting on the couch next to where Tokui would have been. I don't know. I didn't notice too much major going on in this first panel opening, other than, of course, like the recap of the last week. I do think it's interesting that a lot of the girls on the panel, which I did just realize it's pretty much everyone except for Yama and the boy Prince, right? They're all like, man, Ryo's trying really hard to put up a front that he's like a good guy, TM.
Yeah, and that definitely becomes the common thread for the panel throughout this episode too. I mean, Ryo is certainly becomes a focus with some light sprinklings of some other storylines, but this is a pretty Ryo centric episode.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially the second half, right? But we started off with a very lovely date up in Roppongi.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh,
Are
hold
we
on.
going to really skip the beginning part and not talk about Shochan referencing his boner?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
yeah.
I
Are we gonna
forgot.
skip this? What
Oh.
the hell? He's like, I would have to put a pillow up to my cover my torso at Toy Shop. And you were like,
It just plays it
what?
off.
Wait, what? They're like, wait, what do you mean? What? No, we're just confused. Like, they just don't even think he's talking about his pee-pee. But he totally is. And then he looks at Yama and he's like, you know what I mean, right? Everyone's just like repulsed by him talking about his 20-year-old dick or whatever, however old he is.
Yeah, Yama's like, hey, leave the dirty jokes to me and Tokui. All right.
That's illegal.
Which is like, come on, man. Like it was so fucking weird and out of place. But you could tell he's like trying to fill that gap, man.
Shochan, we appreciate you, man, but come on.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for-
felt like a very you must be this tall to make a dirty joke kind of thing, you know?
It was
He's
bizarre. I
not
think
tall enough.
he
He's
waited
definitely
for
not tall enough.
that comedian lady too to be in the panel. So it's like four ladies. They're all like really uncomfortable. He's talking about his young dick. It's pretty funny.
Beautiful. That young dick.
That's my rap name.
young
Young dick.
Y-U-N-G. D-I-K.
Can I throw it back to Tokui
Why
here?
can't it? Hold on, Daly. Why can't it be Lil Dick? L-I-L.
It's
I
too
think
close
there's-
to Little Dicky.
Yeah, there's Little Dicky. Yeah.
Oh,
Dicky.
there it
is.
Little
Horse
Dicky.
dick.mpeg.
Is show
No, it's
Jewish?
different. It's Young Dick.
I don't know. I don't think
Thanks
so.
for clarifying.
Young Dick.
Young
Lil
Dick.
Yachty.
Yeah, that's
Colin.
I'm so glad that this is the quality that we have. This feels
Absolutely.
like home for me.
It's journalism.
Listen, I would just like to remind us all of the moment that Tokui, I can't remember what season of the show it was, but he mentioned something about grabbing a penis to remind him of his youth.
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
grab like a young kid, like right, like a young man's. I don't remember, man. I'll let Tokyo quote himself
So-
on that.
So Topas and Emmy go to a movie.
Changing the subject.
It's really sweet and
called-
romantic.
Is it a Beatles documentary? I'm not familiar with
well,
Yesterday.
yes.
Well,
Is it an American
no.
film?
Well,
Yeah, it
so
is.
yesterday is a film, but it is not a Beatles documentary. It's this idea of like, what if we lived in a world where one dude from our world went to a world where the Beatles didn't exist? So he used all the Beatles songs as if they were his own, and it's like, oh man, he's a genius.
Because
I
he
do
takes credit for all the
remember
Beatles songs. Okay, I remember that
seeing
premise. I just
stuff
didn't know what the
about
name
that.
of the
Okay.
what the
Yeah.
movie was. Okay,
Right, but yeah, like he's just in a world where the Beatles didn't exist, but he knows of it.
Yeah,
It
and Ed
must have
Sheeran's in
been-
that movie for some reason.
Oh, it
Mm.
must have been touching because Topas was like, I cried at the end.
He cried twice. Like this is the second time. You've seen the movie twice, and he still cried at the end.
doesn't
Oh,
seem like
damn,
Emika
dude.
cried, but I'm definitely like a crier at movies. If a movie's good, I'll cry.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
you know, if it gets me engaged, I will not hold back.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
in
that
touch
was
with my
me with-
feminine side. All right.
That was me with Lady Bird, man. Lady Bird fucked me up.
Lady Bird is so good.
So good. But yeah, this was Telpas's second time seeing the movie, but you'll notice throughout this whole day, because this is a movie and dinner date, that he pays for almost everything. The only thing Emmy pays
Mhm.
for is the popcorn and the drink. To which Topaz is like, I've never had salted popcorn before. That's like the most basic. Like, what other popcorn have you had?
Dude, just butter.
See,
is
no,
what you need.
I read that as he's never had like just salted popcorn at the movies.
You gotta butter.
Like he gets
butter.
special because
Oh,
you get like caramel or like chocolate or like
Or cheddar.
See, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if I was on a date with someone and they're like, I've never had salted popcorn and we're at a movie theater, I'm pretty sure I couldn't trust them. I'd be
What
like,
do
are
you-
you a
I just-
spy?
I just want to know.
Are you like, are
Yeah,
you
just-
a replicant? Are you an
just-
android?
What do you eat here? I don't know, man. I thought the date was pretty lovely. Like, I honestly
It was.
like
Mhm.
that's the way I do it. Like, he's like old school, man. I mean, I like treating people out to movies, out to dinner. I don't know if I would get somebody a gift on like date one. I mean, but
Yeah.
it didn't seem like a bad play though. Like she was
Was this
pretty
date one?
smitten with it, and the girls liked it too when she went back to the house. So I think, man, I give Topaz an A for this date.
yeah.
Really do.
This was date 2, right?
Yeah, it was a date too. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it is date
Yeah,
two.
yeah, yeah,
They
that's
did
true.
a driving date
Yeah.
before.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
I don't think it was inappropriate. I think it was definitely like a intentional gift. Like you wouldn't give that to just like, oh, you've been a really good friend to me, thanks. Like
Yeah.
it was weirdly sensual.
They got a matching pair.
was.
So yeah, you're right though. I don't think it was inappropriate at all. I think that just like I said, he gets an A. I don't think he made too many missteps, if any, that I can think of during this date. So Emika now says to the girls right before we go to the shitty intro that she can consider him a man.
Yeah. I will say though, it was a high risk gift, right? Because this is saying I'm going to get us a matching set, but without telling her, right? I feel like a matching set is something you like should maybe kind of agree on.
Maybe
Right, like,
maybe he gave it to her
if-
to see. Sorry, maybe he gave it to her to see if she liked it, and if she liked it, they're like, "Oh, I got one too." And if she didn't like it, then he just keep it to himself.
Exactly, right? But if she weren't into it, that would have been like, well, at least I have some lotion and a towel for my lonesome self.
Oh man.
Oof.
Ooh, is that a dick
Mhm.
joke, Robert?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's take down the dick jokes, guys.
I'll drink. I'm taking a drink right now. So
I,
dick joke
I will
athletes
say,
that come
so
out.
that when I saw this scene, that's something I kind of wanted to hammer on a little bit was, I don't know that even if it was true that I got someone a matching set like this early on, that I would want to like admit that, right? To like tell someone that I'm on date number 2 with like, hey, I got these matching set of towels, right? Now, if he would have played it off like, I like this brand so much that I bought myself some too, right?
Mm.
You know, I think that would have been a little bit more nonchalant.
Man, it worked out though, guys. Like he played
It did.
it. Right.
It worked out.
You
It
know?
worked out. It was just a risky move. It turned out okay for him though, but it was like, wow. I don't know if I would have. I don't know. I would have done that. I don't think I would have.
But I mean, yeah, like Jack said, it did work out, right? Because when we go to the girls' room where Hana and Vivi and Emmy are together and Emmy debriefs with everyone, I think it was Hana, right, who asked straight up, hey, so can you date him? Is he a romantic interest? Emmy says, yeah, I could see
Yeah.
him romantically.
Yeah, I think I'm into him. Is what she says.
I
think, or
I
something.
actually do like them as a couple. You know, we talked about
Me
that
too.
a couple episodes before. Like, you know, there's some people that are trying to date, but I can't see them as a couple. These two, they seem to gel pretty well with their energy, with a lot of things. So
Mhm.
I have high hopes here. Hopefully, it works
Yeah.
out.
I admire how honest and open and genuine that Topa seems. Like he's it doesn't feel like, ooh, he's laying it on thick. It feels like he's genuinely like, I think you really good in person as compared to your pictures. Like don't worry about like looking like your pictures or not looking like your pictures or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of the pictures, can we rewind back to the dinner date where Topaz was like, "Oh yeah, Lily Frankie shows off your Instagram to everyone." That's like
it's
that's-
a
it's-
little weird.
yeah, it's like the vibe of like, look at who my son's trying to bone. Like,
Yeah, I
that's-
think in a way it's more like he's making fun of Topaz or something. In a way, like, look at
Yeah,
who this
look at this.
loser's
Can you
trying to
believe
get
this?
with.
Him? Yeah.
Yeah.
him with her. Oh, it's just so out of her league.
Seems like a way to
Um,
keep him down a few pegs.
Yeah.
Oh
it was
God, I
kind
hope
of-
Lily Frankie's not making fun of him behind his back. Poor kid.
I think he is.
Oh,
maybe I don't know. I'd like to have some hope in Lily Frankie. I did recently rewatch the entire Long Long Man saga. God, it's so good.
suck it.
Yeah,
Gumi.
I need to
Suck
rewatch
Suck
it,
it,
yeah.
Gumi.
That is an internet hole
Uh,
worth falling down. Definitely.
It's like 7 minutes of your time. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, and I'm really happy to see that their love is sort of blooming here. And I like that how that Vivi brings up the like, oh, Topaz was recently drunk when you weren't home and did the whole like, I don't know if I can ever love because I've never been loved.
Yeah.
And I love how she twists it to be like, but clearly he knows what love is because he knows how to show you a good time.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot what I was going to say, and now you reminded me here. Yes, his love language is gift giving and acts of service. Very similar to my own love languages that I've come to recently find out. And like that date he went on is definitely a date I've been on a million times. Dinner and movie. It's just classic. It works out. And like I said, I think that he really walked the line there, the fine line of like not, letting her know his intentions very clearly, but not being creepy at all. And it's moving in a positive direction. So good for him. He's got initiative. He's got more initiative than like any other guy in Terrace House so far, it seems like. Especially Rio at the end of this shit.
Yeah, way more than Rio.
Yeah, jeez.
All right, and then we cut to the shitro, and I'm going to open my second bottle of wine for tonight.
Whoa.
It's not a cork. I wish it were a cork, but thank you for that.
Thank
you for that.
Foley. That was good sound bite there.
All right, so I'm on to
Cheers.
Kung Fu Girls. I'm about to kick some ass.
Are you just drinking straight out of the bottle? You fucking lush.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes. It takes like a whole bottle.
lush.
Look, it took me a whole bottle to get to where I'm at now, and I can still read. So
No one,
gotta keep drinking.
No one uses that fucking insult anymore.
You know what, though? I have my full-on apocalypse beard, as you guys can see. No one else can see this, but I've never literally had a mustache so long I'm eating it. Every time I drink, I feel like there's a spider.
God.
I feel like there's a spider on like the top of my
trim,
beer bottle.
dude.
yeah, take advice from
It's
Daly.
really-
She's trimmed back her beard. It looks
Yeah,
great now.
constantly. It looks
very-
great.
There's
this great
doesn't it?
invention called a
Do you
razor.
like this? What I'm doing here? You see? Yeah.
The
I
soul
think
patch
Daly-
is a nice touch.
Daly's doing a fantastic job manscaping. I'm very excited to see the future of her beard.
That's not what manscaping means.
I don't know if I'm going to share that, Robert.
So anyways, yeah, where was I going? Oh, I'm eating my mustache. Yeah, I don't, you know what though?
Ew.
Like, yes, I do want to shave it, but I also just want to see how fucking ridiculous it can get. I've never gone this long without shaving, and I just want to see what the fuck happens. I'm not liking it though, because I'm eating my
Boo
mustache.
man, chew.
Yeah.
Boo man, chew.
Just trim the mustache, man, and keep it going.
You got to do the Hitler when you have a mustache
Well,
like this. You got to walk around the house.
No,
you got to
you
walk
never
around the
have
house
to use
for
that
like-
phrase
for like-
ever.
for like 5 minutes. Every guy
You heard it here first,
walk
folks.
around to see what they're
Jack
see
is
what they
a
look
Nazi.
like. Just
No,
to
I'm not-
see.
I'm not sure. I mean, I could understand like the handlebars, or the soul patch.
I could do the Fu Manchu like full on. Like that's where my hair grows thickest on my upper lip is on the edges there, man.
Well,
So
you're
we
certainly
cut-
chewing on
so-
your mustache.
So we cut to the kitchen.
Yeah. I don't like what Kai's mustache is doing in this episode.
It is a little weird. But we'll get to Kai in a second. Don't you worry.
Oh, buddy, will we?
Oh my god, I can't wait to get to
Oh gosh.
Kai. So in the kitchen, basically all that happens here is Hana, Vivi, Kai, and Topaz in the kitchen, right? Kai and Hana make plans to hang out on the 13th. They end up saying, hey, we'll go to Trampoland. I don't know-
Trampoland. He gets
I don't know-
hype.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all. This reeked of the producer said, hey, y'all should go to Trampoland. Because we booked some space and time on the 13th. So get excited.
Get your own trampoline.
Yeah.
You guys
thought
ever
they
been
were
to a place like
cute.
that?
What?
I might be a cynical asshole. I don't know.
I mean, I thought it was cute. I mean, have you guys ever been to a place like Sky Zone or Trampoland or whatever?
Mm-mm.
I've always wanted to, but I have not been. I thought it was funny though when Hana was like, I might get so excited I piss myself.
Yeah, and then she's like, I might need to wear a diaper, and then they cut to the
Too
next scene
much.
right as she says that.
Too
Here's the
much.
thing though. Here's the thing about this whole interaction. She is acting totally different than when she would be acting if Rio was asking her out. It's just totally friends.
yeah.
to her.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
just like a friend excursion. This is not a date. I think Kai though is trying to take her on a date. I think he sees the writing on the wall with Rio and what's her name, Vivi, and so he's like trying to move on. And he's always thought that Hana's attractive, and he likes her wrestling and everything. But I don't see the sparks here. She's obviously distracted with Rio. She's not even thinking of I think Kai in a romantic sense, and you can see it in the way she is totally fine and totally normal around him.
Yeah, that's an
Kai.
interesting observation because I was thinking like, oh, maybe this is a sign that Hana's decided she's over it. Like after she had that good cry session, like kind of the writing was on the wall, like you said, it's over. Maybe I'm gonna move on. Oh, let's go to trampoline land with Kai. He seems cool. And maybe because she hasn't like built him up into like this Rio, like Olympic god figure, pun intended.
Superhero.
Well, he is a literal Olympic god figure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So there's less pressure.
Definitely.
I really think that or at least I hope that it's going to be one of those things where Rio's finally going to sit Hana down and have the talk with her, and she's really upset that Rio's not going to pursue her. But I think Kai's going to sneak up from behind and like kind of sweep her off her feet is my hope.
We'll
And like
see.
she's going to realize that she likes him without even noticing it before. And then one day it's just going to hit her. It's going to snap.
I think that's the best thing for Hana to do, right? Because
Right.
we've seen what Hana's like when she's pursuing someone, right? Because when she's pursuing someone, man, is it tough to watch. You know, she's very closeted. She's very shy. She double thinks everything she's about to do. And at least Kai knows how to pick him, you know? I think he looked at Hana, said she's cute, knows she's in a video game, so she's got to make bank, right? And he knows, like, hey, this is the one. She's a wrestling girl. She's for me.
Are you guys familiar with the concept of the transition boyfriend / transition girlfriend? Show of hands. Who's familiar with that? None of you?
Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay, so what it means
Regale
is
us.
here, what it means is when you get out of a heartbreak situation or just a relationship or something like that, either long term or even just like really burning bright and not anything like Hana to Rio. Okay, when you get out of something like that, the next relationship you have is your transition relationship. It's the relationship you have between serious relationships or serious.
So a
crushes.
rebound.
Yeah, totally a rebound here. Exactly.
Oh.
Right. So what I'm saying is that Hana is so enamored and obsessed with Rio that even though it didn't go anywhere, the next person she dates, I think, just has it up against the wall. She's gonna always be comparing them, subconsciously or not, to Rio. And so I just think that there's no hope there. She's gonna need someone to help her get over Rio. No matter how hard she tries and tell herself that she's already over him, she is in fact is not. And it's always going to pain her to see Rio with another lady or something like that for a while, right? It's not going to be forever. But whoever she ends up dating, you know, if she does end up dating someone here, I think is going to be the rebound / transition person. My theory.
You know, I'm so glad she knows how to pick him. She picked the right guy for the job. She picked a very successful stand-up comedian, hilarious guy, so good, man. He had me rolling on the floor.
But she was supportive of how terrible, hot garbage, bullshit, cat vomit, piss shit show that was on stage. That was a
Tell us how you really feel.
public suicide / execution. It was fucking really cringy to watch. And I'm gonna burp.
So we go to Gamuso, a little club in Asagaya in Tokyo. And the MC, what's his name? BJ? The MC introduces Kai to the stage. And I've got Kai's whole fucking transcript kind of like quickly jotted down here.
Okay.
I just want to run through all the great jokes. Man, I hope you're ready to laugh. I hope you're all sitting down because these jokes are so fucking fantastic.
God, I hate that Robert's gonna make me fucking relive this right now.
This is comedy right now.
I have 3 questions. You should never start a Type 5 with that. I'm just
It's already
start
funny.
That right.
It's already funny.
Because the thing is, you know, like that sets up in the crowd. I know what the ending is. When he says the third question, we're at the end. So I can't wait till he asks the third question, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if their work is to be cute and just lay there, what's their day off look like?
And by the way, that's the peak. He peaked early.
Fucking fantastic
It's
joke.
kind of like a nose laugh, like,
Like expel more air from the nose than you usually would and move on.
Yeah, it's
No
a Reddit
scrolling.
laugh.
Nose
Yeah.
laugh is totally a good way to describe that. Yes, it was like,
Like, I love how that's barely observational humor. That's like observation plus a dash of humor. You know what I mean? Like, God.
It's kind of a dad joke too.
Yeah. And then he just kind of lets that hang and then doesn't follow up with it. And it's like, My second question.
Because he gets like so little response the whole time. It's like crickets. Like I wish there was a DJ there that was literally just playing a track of crickets.
Woof, man.
Would have been funnier.
And it's a question we've heard before. It's a punchline we're all familiar with. How have these Japanese salarymen not killed themselves yet?
Crickets. The end.
They just all get on a train and they all ride on a train and then they jump off and
they don't realize that's them
they don't
in a year.
realize that's them
in a year.
And it's
What
like
the fuck?
they go
I
to
don't
their
know.
shitty wife's house and their shitty prick ass family and the dinner sucks.
They go to their small living room and their prick of a family is all asleep.
What the fuck?
The fucking
And
wife's
you're-
food fucking
Yeah.
sucks.
And you're eating your fucking wife's garbage fucking leftover dinner.
Dude, he did not run these jokes by anyone. It's
No
impossible.
one.
This
No
is the
one.
first time any ears have ever heard this, because anyone would have told him, look, you need to workshop this, bro. Like, you need some like
Dude.
context here. I could go on about this forever.
So yeah, like the panel later, dissects it because they're more experts in this, and it's like the thing is that, and they admitted it was like, oh well, we do Japanese comedy versus like American stand up. This was not neither or. This is
yes.
neither Japanese comedy or American comedy.
Don't put
It
this
just
on us,
wasn't
motherfuckers.
comedy.
Yeah. If you listen to this out of
yeah.
America, don't put this on us. We don't think this is funny either.
But it's I think like the best observation that they made about that, because they're good comedians, is that it's like you haven't lived this life. Like
Yeah.
you're just like saying it just sounds like you're a bully when you're saying it from the outside versus being like, man, when I worked as a salary worker, it was really shitty and you da 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 da. It's like, I would trust you. But
Yeah.
this seems that you might just start talking about whatever else from a point of view that you've never had. Like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, it's 100% that. Because when you look at the masters of stand-up comedy, right? Like Jim Gaffigan, fucking Bill Burr, right? You notice that they set themselves up. Like, you learn about who they are. Like, once you're done watching an hour-long Netflix comedy special, you can regurgitate facts about that person that aren't funny, but they're just facts about, like, oh, that person has 3 kids, right? Or that person used to be a salaryman, right? And because you know those facts, you know that it's funny when they say, man, why haven't salarymen killed themselves yet, right? Because it's like, oh, I get it, because he used to do that life. That's crazy. But with Kai, you don't get that
He
sense.
hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't set up his ethos. He just says something dark.
Just anything
Really
he can
dark.
think of. He's doing his best impression of Chris Rock, which is still a terrible impression of Chris Rock, right? And like you said, he hasn't lived it. In a weird way, he's like punching down at the people that are above him in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like, it just comes across as like mean-spirited. And the most important thing here is that all would be forgiven if this was actually funny. If this was actually comedy. It's none of those. And by the way, we're not comedy experts either. We're not professional comedians. We really appreciate it if you're laughing at anything we say, but we're literally just 4 friends, 4 assholes on the internet that are trying to make each other laugh. And if you guys laugh with us, then that's awesome. But we're by no means like also like,
Nope.
pros at this and can tell them how to make it funnier. But it's just so obviously terrible. And it's so obviously like ill-practiced, ill-conceived, and the thing that's scary about it is when Vivi was talking to him on the couch at the end of it about how, if, the problems with it and just giving some really good constructive feedback, his comeback was just kind of like, well, it is comedy after all. So I'm not convinced that he's taking the right lessons away from this to become a good comedian. And also, you can't be good at anything within 5 months. I mean, comedy's hard. That's the main takeaway from this. Comedy is hard. It's not easy. The best people make it look easy, but that's why they're the best, because it's super hard.
Right. And so the tough thing about this too is well, and I hope in that scene where he's like, well, it is comedy, I hope that he's just saying that because the wound's like super fresh, right? And I hope that he takes this and he changes his routine and refines it and makes it better, writes some new stuff. But the issue is though, right, is that Terrace House is in fact bookended by professional comedians,
Right?
aka the panelists.
Yeah.
So especially right now, we have the guest comedian
And so next panel section, they do sit there and tell basically everything that's wrong with Kai's routine. They're like, yeah, he's not speaking from experience. He's doing this, and that wrong. And I think it was just short-sighted. And even you was losing a little bit of interest in him. She's like, yeah, he has a nice voice, but that comedy routine was not good.
I think it speaks volumes that the funniest thing about Kai's tight five is Vivi saying, wow. Like, that to me was the funniest shit. After he said the salaryman should die line, I love how she was like, wow.
Hi, Kai. Yeah,
like
she was pretty funny.
Dead, silent room. Like,
no one said
her.
Sugoi. No one said
She
Sugoi at all.
had
Everyone was
better
just like,
no one really
timing
laughed.
than him.
no. Well, you know what's crazy? Did we get to the third question yet?
I want to get to the third
Okay.
question.
Well, I'll tell
Do you
you.
have a
I'll
point?
tell you what's funny because we're talking about no one laughing. I have something to build on with that. But say his third question.
His third question. My third question. They're all related. Don't worry. These are all related. The dog sleeping, the salaryman dying. It's all related to this third question. Who came up with the word nipple?
Nipple. Like,
Now,
and then you
excuse me.
said
Hold
nipple.
on. Dead silence. Nipple.
That's not even a dad joke. That's not funny. That's not even like maybe that's like a first grade joke. I was gonna say
Like, I
second
laugh
grade,
at
but
anything right now, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
nah,
dude,
this ain't it,
homie,
Chief.
dude, it was so bad. There's no timing. There's no context. There's no callbacks. It was just really, really sloppy. It was like my first minute trying to do stand up is what it sounded like. Sounded like he spent a minute thinking about this. Now, he did get a laugh. And that's what the most tragic thing about this whole thing is the biggest laugh he got was when he went back to that guy and said, hey, do you want to come up here? And that's when he got the biggest laugh because the guy, what's his name?
BJ.
BJ said, well, I don't want to, but I have a feeling everyone in this room wants me to.
Dude, the funniest thing about this tight five is BJ roasting the fuck out of Kai.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote those down.
Oh, yeah.
That's comedy, what BJ was doing.
100%. BJ knows what he's doing. Like, he's not gonna like have his own Netflix special, but he knows how to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Because you notice he's like, it's funny that all of these jokes about salarymen are coming from a guy who hasn't worked a hard day in his life.
Yeah.
And fucking roasted.
He
Boom,
just
roasted.
said
by
out
the
loud
way.
what everyone was thinking.
Yeah, and then he pointed out the girls in the back. The girls brought flowers. It's like they knew this would be a funeral.
Yes.
Fucking great,
This
dude.
is where,
So good.
it's where your career comes to die. This was, like I said, a public execution / public suicide of. I hope I don't know, man. It's like I want him to get better, but do I? I kind of want him to just maybe hang it up and stop. Terrace House has a terrible history with comedians. Terrible. Well, I take that back. I think there might be a good one on BGND. I haven't got there yet, but with that one with the hamburger joke and this with Armand and Momo, like that was bad. This is even worse. Congrats, Terrace House. You topped yourself. This is worse comedy than that one.
I just, I don't, it's really, really bad and really, really sad when they're like, in trying to be encouraging, it's like, oh, I really like what his shirt said. It's like, that's not even part of his comedy. It's just like a shirt that he bought. Like normal people do.
Yeah.
It's not a comedian thing.
My
I don't
diet
even
starts
remember what it
tomorrow.
said. Yeah, my diet
My
starts
diet
tomorrow.
starts tomorrow.
And
Buy
he was
me-
so
buy
able
me
by
barbecue.
that.
Buy me barbecue, Daddy. Daddy Rio.
Oh, that happened.
We'll get to that.
This is what I'm going to tell you, the listener, and you guys. This time
Fuck
next
up.
week, when we drop next episode of Tadaima, I will come with a joke, maybe a joke or two, that is single-handedly better than Kai's. I think I can write a better stand-up routine than Kai easily.
Dude, what a low bar.
The
Colin
bar's
low
so
down
low.
spiraling.
Colin, I'm holding you to that. Hey, Google. Add to my calendar, May 19th. Colin makes a good joke.
No, I'm not saying it's going to be great. It's not going to be groundbreaking. I did want it to be just enough to beat out Kai.
The bar is so low.
The reminder is set. I'm gonna fucking talk to you on May 19th and see if you got a good joke.
He is now like infamous, I think, in Terrace House. And if he made any contribution here, it's like now we can reference this. We can make jokes out of it. We've been playing games together, and some of his quotes came up while we're playing games for a good laugh for us. So that's what his contribution is here, is just being the punching bag for us to laugh about. Does he do stand up again? What do you guys think? You think he's going to try again?
Yeah.
I think so.
You
Yes.
think?
I think the next time's going to be much
To
better.
be that publicly shamed, man, that's got to be rough. I don't know if he does. I mean, I honestly, like, I usually want to be encouraging and positive with people, but that was really, really, really bad. He could have fixed all that by watching one YouTube video, I think.
Well, I think I said it last week. I'm too drunk to remember. But with stand-up comedy, you're gonna bomb way more than you're gonna succeed for the first year, 2 years, 3 years.
And everyone bombs too. Everyone.
100%. Chris Rock has bombed. I'm willing to bet 1 billion percent. Chris Rock has bombed at least 40 times in his life.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Right? So this could be one of those 40 times we've seen Kai bomb, but maybe in like 2-3 years, if he keeps up with the comedy thing, maybe he will come out with a good joke. Maybe he will find a way to make salarymen dying somehow funny.
There is a joke there, but I'm just saying, this is where his whole personality, like I was talking about a couple weeks back or last week, whenever it was, can't remember. He's just not a naturally funny guy. He doesn't act funny in his real life. He doesn't say anything funny. He doesn't make anyone laugh in the house. He's kind of boring on dates. And we'll see how this Trampoland date goes. I mean, if you can't have fun with that, then what can you do? But he's talking about buying a car or something for his family with a stand-up like, sorry, bro, hate to break your heart here, but that ain't happening. You won't even be able to lease a car at this rate.
No.
Isn't he the oldest now?
I don't know.
And he seems pretty naive.
I don't remember.
He just needs to, like Yama said, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like Yama said, he needs to draw from his own experience.
Exactly.
Talk about what you know. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear people being genuine.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. It's just like all he's got to worry about for next time he does stand-up, just the two things he's got to focus on is A, just take from your own experience, and B, just for the love of God, workshop it with someone. Just talk to someone about your routine. Like do it in front of someone. Do it in front of Hana. Do it in front of Hana.
Everyone does that. Even Dave Chappelle. He lives, we're all from central, Midwest area. Dave Chappelle lives in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is this podunk-ass cow town just by Dayton, Ohio, super small. Even he goes and workshops jokes at the local, comedy clubs in Yellow Springs, Ohio to see what he's going to do on his Netflix specials. You got to do that. You got to field test this. You don't know you might think you know what's funny, but you don't know what is going to get an audience to laugh until you actually try it. It's impossible without actually doing it.
I mean, to be fair, this could have been that local club for him. This could have been that local space where he could have made a few jokes, see how it picked up. Right?
Just happened.
It was pretty small.
Just happened to be on Terrace House though.
That's the rough one.
And he had flowers.
But I mean, nonetheless, you could tell by the setup of this is a tight five. And I'm not sure if you don't know comedy, tight five is a very common thing you do in stand-up, right? Especially with open mics, where it's literally that. It's a tight 5 minutes where you have a quick 5-minute routine that's assuming very funny, right? Yeah. It could start with 3 questions, maybe more. Who knows? That's kind of up to you. Yeah, well, it's up to you how to decide how your tight 5 goes. But very clearly, we saw a tight 5 that really didn't work.
Drink every time we say tight 5. Drink.
Tight 5.
None of the guys were there. All 3 ladies were there. But Rio and Tupas were busy.
And we've already kind of alluded ahead in the living room where Hana, Vivi, and Emmy are starting out there. Rio comes in a little bit later, but before he does, all the girls basically say his routine was very dark. Vivi kind of agrees with us, or maybe we agree with her, right? In that the dog bit was the best part. The rest of it was very dark, especially the salaryman bit, right?
Yeah.
And then Kai comes home. Woof.
He looks defeated. He probably should have not came home that night.
I think he knew. I mean, just by the audience reaction. He knew. But at least the girls were kind of supportive at first. Hana maybe overly so. At least Vivi was a little more like, hey, the dog joke was at least kind of funny.
It was that's not what he wants to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't want to hear any of that. I was just gonna say Hana just I don't think she, based on previous interactions during his routine and stuff, I don't think she fully understands like the context. I think it's a little bit lost on her.
She's picking up some of the words, but I mean, here's the thing about it though. If you're a band, if you're a stage performer or anything, even if you don't get it, if you're gonna the best way to criticize anything or just look at something with a critical eye is if it's not in your wheelhouse, look at how the audience is reacting. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not a big fan of country, but if I could go to a country show and even though I don't necessarily like that music, I can at least gauge how successful the show is based on the audience reaction. You know, so it's kind of the same thing here. But yeah, Hana is supportive to a fault here. She's like, yeah, it was awesome. It was good. You know, telling him what she thinks he wants to hear, but she wasn't helping him. She wasn't helping him the way Yama said he's going to help him, give him the real help.
Oh, yeah. I do love, we get this little moment where Ryo is home, right, with Kai, and he asks about the painting in the in like the little space between the living room and the kitchen. And when Kai was describing his painting, not gonna lie, I got like Ruka version 2.0 vibes.
Thank you.
Yes.
He was
No.
a flower opening in as consciousness opens.
Man, you know what though? I thought it was way better than Ruka's stuff. I really did.
So yeah, it was better, but it was still very much like describing these metaphors that didn't really exist.
Yeah. He could
And
have just
simplistic.
right. Yeah, he's keeping himself busy, I guess. You know, the thing about this is that I'm getting the sense that Ryo isn't necessarily like bros like he was before with the previous roommates. It seems like Ryo is just not really bonding very well with Topaz and Kai. I don't know. It just seems like he's kind of there, or maybe he's not even really in the house that much. You know, especially at the way this episode ends. I think Colin brought up that, or Robert, or maybe both y'all said that he might be leaving. That didn't make any sense to me when you guys said that at the time, but like after this episode, like I'm kind of like, oh, maybe he is.
Oh yeah, that was like an episode or two ago that we talked about that. I get the sense that he might be leaving, but
I thought he was going to be trying to bang with Vivi, but who knows now?
He totally already has. For sure.
So and there's
100%.
something there's something I want to point out later in the episode too about that. But I think I do think Ryo, there is a good chance that first of all, he's not in the house very much anymore. I think he's been busier, especially since Pepe left. I feel like he just hasn't been in the house as much. And when he is home, he is spending a lot of time with Vivi, especially in this episode. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, perfect. But so later in the episode, I do think I saw what I think is a hickey on his neck, but we'll get to that.
Jeez, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's another fucking thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that. For now, so Kai goes upstairs. He's gone. He's left. Right. He's gone to wallow in his own pity. And now all that's left is Ryo, the only man in the living room, with Vivi, Hana, and Emmy
on the couch.
Oh man! And Vivi is talking about her hair and how it's so soft.
Oh,
fluffy.
This part, the sniffing scene.
And Emmy's like, "Oh, it's so fluffy. I want to sniff it. I want to
get me
it.
barbecue daddy."
And then Ryo's like, I want to sniff it too. And he fucking sniffs her hair.
He sniffs her hair.
Whoa.
Is that big a deal? It wasn't like he went behind her, rubbed her shoulders, and sniffed her hair. It was like on the couch, and Emika was talking about it, and he was just like, hey, I'm here. Might as well sniff it. Was that big a deal?
You know, I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, I've only ever done that with like girls, but maybe girl to guy is a little different. It's a little different. Yeah, I don't think I'd ask you guys like sniff my hair. I got new shampoo.
Okay, where I'm coming from with it is I have had just friends that are girls like, hey, check this out. Look, I got new shampoo. And they just lean over. It's like a casual thing. But there is, I think, sexual tension between Vivi and Ryo that they both can feel. So I can see how that, you know, but I've definitely like had friends that are girls that are just like, oh, check us out. And it seems like whenever girls like get the ends of their hair cut off too, and it's like all soft, they want everyone to touch that too. Like, look how soft my hair is now.
I'm guilty of that. As soon as I get a haircut, I'm always like, feel.
I see
feel
you.
So much better.
I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. It's a thing.
See, I agree. I think if Emmy or Hana were the ones to be like, oh, Ryo, can you smell my hair? It smells so good, this new shampoo, right? But since it's Vivi, and we've seen you've seen what they've fucking done for the past 2-3 episodes. Go listen to our episodes. They're fucking horny as shit.
They've like verbally been docking this whole time, but they haven't really touched each other. They haven't really touched yet, though.
And this might have been the first time they touched. And definitely this touch was very electric. You can tell, right? Like there's something there. And then like Vivi reacted.
Yeah, and then that's exactly what I'm talking about, Vivi's reaction. Then she's like, don't smell my hair. It's like she wanted to draw attention in the room. Like, look, girls, Ryo smelled my hair. That's how I took that.
And Hana was sitting right there.
I know, it's brutal,
she was killing her inside. I'm pretty sure I saw a single tear roll down her face.
Oh, man. But I'm just so conflicted with this. Because like before early on, weeks and weeks ago, I said it would be such a G move if he dropped everything, and didn't get with any girls. But to see, I think the painful part here is to see Vivi trying so fucking hard and getting nothing, eliciting zero reaction is really harder to watch than I anticipated. She's not really trying to get all 3 guys anymore. That was something that was kind of like turning me off to her. Now she's really focused squarely on Ryo. She's probably getting infatuated / slightly falling in love with him. She's totally hooked. Like, she wants to be his girlfriend. Be my girlfriend moment 2.0.
2.0.
But to see him just completely, especially when they're trying to watch the movie and he like puts her hand under the blanket and then she keeps trying to touch him and says, look how cold I am. And then he like puts his elbow on her hand. It was just like, Ryo, you suck, man. You suck.
We getting ahead, buddy.
He sucks.
Like, he doesn't have any excuse. Yeah, totally. He, in my eyes, he has the confession. He heard the be my boyfriend loud and clear when Hana kind of bitterly was like, how do you get a girlfriend?
Oh,
and yeah, that was that Vivi was like, I make it very, very, very clear, and then I wait for some kind of verbal reciprocation.
That was like the ultimate third wheel moment I think I've ever seen. Like, Hana, you are so the
it was
third
a
wheel
moment
here.
they were communicating each other's intentions in that moment, and like, Hana was also there.
Yeah, hit eject, Hana. Get the fuck out of there. Go stare at him from the window upstairs.
So y'all know that wolf pack vibe where the lead alpha wolf knows like, okay, we're about to pounce, and then everyone else is like, let's go, let's pounce. I'm feeling that right now. So let's fucking pounce on Ryo. Okay, let's just fucking bisect this episode.
Robert's over here. He's got like his hand on the leash on the 3 of us, and he's like, no, guys, hold on.
Wait, I've been drinking Kung Fu Girl. I'm feeling violent. I'm about to do some Kung Fu.
And he's
Ryo.
like, let go of the leash. Fuck it.
Actually, no, Ryo, I like you a lot. You're a really nice guy. I'm not gonna do Kung Fu to you because you'd eat my ass.
I like him less.
But
he'd eat your what?
Anyway, so
You are on your second bottle of wine, bro.
the thing with Ryo, right? Let's just jump to the end because we all know the ending. If you're listening to this episode, you know what happened at the end of Terrace House episode 30. Ryo is not, he's into Vivi, but he's gonna decline her because she wants to move to America and he definitely doesn't. And he doesn't want her to not move America and give up her dreams because of his dreams, right? So they're definitely not gonna happen. That's the vibe I get. So why the fuck does he seem so horny for her for like the first 40 minutes of this episode?
Like I said, if they had went up in that playroom and Kai and Hana weren't there, they probably would have made out, Mac down.
Yes.
He might have got a titty in his hand.
He's got like half his foot in the water with this whole situation. It's like one of those things where in his head, he's like, I don't want to lead her on, but I kind of already am, but I don't want this to happen, but I do want it to happen.
But I don't want to hurt Hana.
Right, but I don't, exactly. It's a whole fucking mess. And at the end of this episode, we realize just how fucking oblivious he is. Like, he's oblivious, And he's just like, should I go talk to Hana? It's like, yes.
Dude, yes.
Just get it over with.
Rule of thumb. What would Han-san do? He would have been straight up. He would have been honest with everybody. I'm sick of this bullshit with Kenny. I'm sick of this bullshit with Ryo. If they think that what they're doing is their way of being nice, it's not. And it's not coming across that way either. It's not. It's going to backfire for them. And I just hate this. And Han-san would have given the advice to be completely honest and let it be said and let it be known and let's all get along with our lives. And I just think that's really the way to be, man. It's just not being followed here. So what would Han-san do? Hashtag.
And what's so annoying is that he has to turn to Emmy, the first girl who tried to court him, right? For this advice of should I talk to these 2 girls and basically shut them down. And she's like, it's not my place to give the advice. But fucking yes, you idiot. Yes, tell them that you are not into them and stop this charade.
God.
Well, okay. So also here, another big point I have about this whole episode is the concept of fixed endpoints. Are you guys familiar with this concept?
Is this a geometry thing?
Not necessarily, but this is a new term that I was introduced to when I went out with my friends to dinner last summer. I had a friend who I won't name here because they don't know I'm telling the story, but they have always said they're going to be moved. They live in Austin. They said they're going to be moving to Dallas where their family is. They're going to be moving back there at some point. So because they mentally had this fixed endpoint in their head that they're going to be living in Dallas at some point, even though there's no concrete plans, anytime any kind of adventure or dating prospect or any kind of hint at romance would come up in Austin, they would immediately tell themselves, well, I'm going to be in Dallas at some undeterminate point in the future, so there's no point in pursuing this whatsoever. And so they would just constantly be shutting the door on opportunities for love, for romance, for anything, career, because they have this fixed endpoint in their head that, well, this is all for naught. I'm going to be leaving here anyways. Instead of saying yes, they would say no to everything, close the door. And that's what Ryo's doing here. He's saying, well, you want to be in America and there's no way I'm moving there. So this is a non-starter. And it's just like, dude, like, I'll tell you what, man, most people say that they regret that kind of shit in life. They don't ever say, wow, I'm really glad I shut the door and said no on these opportunities when I was younger and could have said yes. Very few times does that happen. Usually people are like, man, that's the one that got away. I wish I made a different decision there. My life could be completely different. And I just hate to see it happen. But you know what? If he doesn't appreciate Vivi for how cool and awesome she seems to be in her early phases, then she can maybe do better too.
I just don't understand, because he said before, like, he wanted to move to America. I think that Vivi's going to be very surprised if she finds out directly that the reason why he's not into her is that he doesn't foresee it working out future times, when it's like, you said you were going to move.
He said that directly.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I said it right to her face.
100%.
And it's like, why wouldn't even you give the chance to be like, okay, maybe like move to America for like a couple years and then move back ultimately to live in Japan?
Yeah, and the way he was talking to Emika, it seems like, well, I'm never going to America ever, right? It was like very like, what the hell?
Like, I want to give Ryo the benefit of the doubt here, right? Because we're all looking at this as armchair therapists, right? As third wheels, is looking at it in retrospect, right? But it should have been clear, at least by like 3 weeks ago, that VP is horny for you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, man, there was so much flirting.
Lie, hips don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's been so many hints dropped by now that you should know. Even if you went to an all-boys middle school, all-boys high school, you don't really have that much experience with the fairer gender. Not that there are only two genders, but you know, we're talking about the heterosexual world of Terrace House, right? You should at least know, man, she wants to bone you. And
so
maybe a relationship might brew here. And that should have been apparent at least by episode 20, I don't know, 7?
I mean, at least
28?
make out.
Like in 3 days. Hana said it herself. She had made like more progress in 3 days than a month and a half of flirting with him.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get together, last week or the week before.
And I'm a big proponent of the idea that if you're going to date someone, it makes there are no rules for dating. But if you were friends with someone and then it ends up being dating, I do think that's one of the best ways to do it, because it's like you already know them pretty well and all that. But looking at the way Ryo and Vivi are, they were definitely not going to be one of those couples that got together after being friends for a couple years. This is definitely high passion, high reward, very, very raunchy.
Question about this tableau.
3 questions.
Three questions.
One question about the cuddly movie incident.
Oh, God.
What cuddly movie?
Does hand holding equal marriage? Is that an indication toward marriage, as Yama says?
Jesus, that was the implication. Wow. Like, I don't know. I was fully expecting them to hold hands and maybe even have a kiss here or there. But then I think, at least my theory at this point, is that Ryo got cold feet because he might have saw Emika and Hana appearing down from that fucking window. And staring at them and watching every fucking move they make. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to be watching a movie comfortably, and you can see it in Vivi's face. She's sitting there. They do that like one shot of her like straight on, where it's her watching the movie, and she's like wide eyed. And she's like, I cannot fucking believe these people. So I don't know. I don't like. Yes, there should have been a move from Ryo. but there wasn't. And I think that could have played a part, but I'm not entirely sure. I kind of was expecting one, though.
Okay. It's time to bring out the big guns, guys. You ready? The
Biggest
controversial Terrace House opinion of the week. Jack Cepeda. Follow me.
Lay it
Twitter.
on me,
TM.
Jack.
TM.
He's fucking. Okay, I'll start again. He's fucking someone else outside of the house. Rio is a player. He's got a fucking hickey.
Yes.
He's going out to Lion King on a Monday, and then he's going to dinner with his friend. He's totally not trying to look like a player. He's not trying to piss off his side hoe, all right, his side piece, because that's why he hasn't gone on the museum date. They haven't gone on date 1 with Vivi. How many times on Terrace House do we get someone sharing earbuds or something like that, watching a movie on a laptop, turns into a Tetris bang, turns into a makeout sesh in the playroom? Happens all the fucking time. We've seen this before. Rio's a player. He's lying. He's banging someone outside the house. 100% hickey. Fuck this guy.
Okay, benefit of the doubt.
And furthermore,
Wow.
he's totally
Benefit-
banging someone outside the house. He's got the fucking hickey.
Benefit of the doubt.
No.
People don't always need to be banging someone to be satisfied. He could maybe just be good on his own.
Yeah,
I
he
think
doesn't want to get in a relationship.
Yeah,
who was
it
he going to Lion King with? Who's that hickey
His-
from?
A friend.
His basketball friend who loves musical theater
And that,
just like him
and that
because he also
smacks
goes
him
to
on the neck and
museums.
gives him a bruise.
It was fucking
Well-
Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley went with him to fucking Lion King.
Okay, my real thought about Rio here is I don't know and I don't care if he has a side piece, right? You don't like. Look, I lived with Colin for 2 years. I've known him for
Are you
like. I
Colin's
don't-
side?
Oh,
Is that what you're
fuck,
about to
this
tell
is
us?
news to
No,
me.
and I've known Colin for like 4 years. All right, I would never in like a billion years. Like I love you, bro. I would never rest my head on your shoulder in a billion years unless I plan to make out with you. That's just not gonna happen.
I don't know if I'm
right?
getting your point here, Robert.
My
Wait, so
point
you're
is-
saying,
For the record, this is the first
Colin,
time.
if he leans against you, he wants to
I'll
make
say,
out.
what I will
Yeah,
say
clearly.
is this is the first time
100%.
I've ever heard Robert tell me he loves me. So
This is the
There you go,
This
you're
sounds like
welcome.
I was trying to hit you. Actually, is what this sounds
No,
like.
my point being, Rio leaned his head onto Vivi's fucking shoulder. That's on camera. There is no dispute for that, right?
Kinda.
If you fucking do that, that doesn't mean you see them as a friend or as a potential not romantic interest. Like, there's no world where you do that to someone and they read it as, oh,
yeah,
man, this
that's
is a
not
great
a
friend of mine.
no. Even
Like,
if I'm
no.
friends with a girl, and I don't pull that move when I think of them platonically.
To be honest with you guys, I don't know that there was contact. I think it seemed like they were like an inch apart, but I don't know that his head was actually on her arm.
Dangerously close. It was on
But
there
also,
at some point.
Yeah,
it was
either
dangerous. It
way,
was
it was
dangerously
close.
close. It was dangerously close. But so was her hand. She kept looking for excuses to touch him. I'm cold. Here's my hand.
Oh.
Feel it. Why are you so warm? Am I that warm? Then she touched him again, and then he
Yeah.
fucking put her hand
And he's
under
like,
the
shoves her
blanket
hand
like a
under the
cold-hearted
blanket.
bastard.
I was like, holy fuck.
Third reason why he's banging someone outside the house. That's what you do. Okay, you're like, oh, you were trying to touch me? Nah, put your hand in the face.
Verb,
stiff
it's
arm,
what
boom.
you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Ooh.
Tadaima, a Terrace House
That
Podcast
happens.
conspiracy theory TM for the week. So yes, side piece or we always can revert back to the
Or.
fact that him and Vivi could be doing shit off camera.
Well, okay. So, second controversial Terrace House opinion of the week. You're getting a
Yeah.
2 for here.
Go.
Okay. So,
Go.
Rio said this very clearly. Okay. And we overlook it. I want the next woman I date to be the mother of my children. He obviously doesn't look at Vivi as a potential mother of his children. And when he said that, I was like, okay, well then he's never going to date anybody then, because what a high bar, like impossible to ever fulfill, like a once in a lifetime thing. You're going to find like one of these, what are the chances one of these 3 of your roommates are going to be the mother of your children? That's never happened on Terrace House ever. So it's like when he said that, I was like, okay, well this is never happening now, even though I wanted to have high hopes. They kind of were dashed there.
I want to point out a loophole. You don't need to date someone to fuck them. So
You think they're banging?
Oh, well, possibly. I mean, you don't get a hickey because you shook hands.
That's not her hickey.
I mean,
that ain't her hickey.
How did no one call that
That's
out though?
the
Like
Lion
it was
King
a
hickey.
really dark spot.
yeah, no one called that out.
Yeah, no one
But
brought it up.
my point is, yes, I think it's totally fine to think, oh, the next woman I date is going to be the mother of my children. That's totally fine. I think that's a great goal to have. That doesn't mean the next woman you bang is the one you're dating. You know,
He seems like he thinks very highly of himself. Like he wants to be a good guy. I don't know if he's into that.
And we're also making the assumption that he's come to Terrace House to date, and I think it was just, part of his career, a career move.
yeah, 100%.
I did not ever get the feeling he was there. He was like, I really want to date someone. It's like he's focused on basketball. He said it himself.
Well, yeah, he did, but also in his like pre-interview when he was with those two boys, he said that this is one of the few chances in life that he could meet other girls. I think he did say in that pre-interview that he was there to meet other girls too. I have to rewind the tape on that, but I seem to have that memory. Who knows?
I mean, either way, he's a pirate. He'll comes across a lot of booty.
Pirate.
Probably.
He comes across
He's
a lot of
pirate,
booty.
man. He comes across tons of booty. He's fine.
Booty.
But okay, so I think we should wrap up the Rio conversation.
How can we in a time like this?
I
We're in
know
quarantine.
it's so rough, but basically, I think Rio is gonna leave soon. I think he's gonna leave like next episode.
Well, he's
episode
not
after this.
He's not friends with the boys. It seems like, or he's cordial with them, but they're not like, you're my bro. Let's bro out. It's
My
not like
bro.
that at all.
My best friend.
He already said he doesn't like the other two girls. Seems like he's giving Vivi the cold fucking shoulder. It seems like he's never in the house anymore. So yeah, Redding's on
He's
the
gonna
wall
leave and
here.
basketball away his
Like
problems.
he's trying to bail, man. And like I said, I thought this would be a G move, but somehow it's not turning into that. It's weird. You can never predict anything on Terrace House. It really will throw you for a loop anytime you try.
So we cut to the living room where Emmy and Topaz are together and they share a Coca-Cola.
Oh, I love this scene.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah?
They weren't even touching,
No.
but that was like less lewd than what was happening with Vivian.
Yeah. They didn't even hold hands, so we don't even know if they'll get married.
But at the same time, there was electricity.
I can just hear the
there was
wedding
electricity.
bells.
They were vibing. They were just chilling, and they were so relaxed sitting next to each other.
There was electricity and two people falling asleep looking at their phones. It's funny to say though, but there was chemistry there.
Yeah.
They seem comfy together.
Real talk. I would pay so much money to be one of them in that situation because that is like the best fucking moment of any relationship. Not like it's not about the flirting. It's not about the high octane moments. It's about those moments where you can just fucking laze out on a couch 1 inch away from your partner and just chill. Like you don't even give a fuck about what they do in the next hour or 2 hours or the next year. You just lay with them. And it's just no expectations. It's just chill, man. Just relax. You enjoy the moment. And that's what it was between those two.
I mean,
So
yes,
nice.
it was a beautiful moment, but Emika, like they're just so like they're so chill. They're so chill. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I think it totally could work, but it just seems like it would kind of be boring.
Yeah, but it's
Like they're
It's
just
good
so
for them,
like
though.
like I like them. Like I like them as a couple. I'm not saying I don't like them as a couple. And they do fit. But what I am saying is I think it'd be really unhot for them to make out or do anything intimate. Like Emika seems like she'd be really boring. She would probably like fake it in bed, and then she'd be the kind of chick that rolls over, hands him a tissue, then leaves. It's like, all right, Tomas, like.
Jack, okay, I know they're on a TV show, but like their like whole life, including their sex life, is not just like trying to grab our entertainment. Like it's not for entertainment value.
We need to see what these people are really like in real life.
I didn't know that that's a big part of like the whether or not the relationship is good for your viewers' point of view.
If you want to watch people on their phone on a couch, this is the episode for you.
All right. Yeah, I
okay.
do.
So yeah, I'll agree that like in terms of reality TV watching, this is not necessarily the most high octane entertaining shit to watch. But in terms of like, man, you found a partner and I'm so happy for you. This is that wholesome shit that I eat up and drink as much as I drink this fucking good white wine.
I'm getting buzzed. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in the room with fucking sober ass motherfuckers.
I
I'm
can
getting
still
buzzed.
read, so I'm not the worst,
Okay.
but I'm definitely
Okay.
feeling it.
Okay.
But this is the shit that like is the best part about any relationship. It's not about those. I mean, sure, it's great to like celebrate those 1-year anniversaries where they took you to whatever Disneyland or whatever the fuck, right? But
I think they're gonna go to Disney.
They might go to Disney, but to me at least, the best parts about a relationship are those moments where you don't remember, where you could just chill on a couch on a lazy Sunday afternoon, no chores left to do. You did all of them yesterday, and you're just fucking scrolling through Reddit next to your partner who's also scrolling through Reddit, and you share memes with each other or some shit like that. That is the shit.
I dare them to prove me wrong. Let's have a kissing scene at the Yokohama fucking Ferris wheel and let it be fireworks, and then I'll be like, "Oh, that's so nice."
There you go. I mean, what
I hope
You
I
have
hope
to
they
have
do
the
that.
spectacle.
what I
I
think
hope
it
they do
is
that.
that I think they're gonna end up a less dramatic Uchi and Minori from BGITC, and it's gonna be one of those things where they're finally gonna couple up, right? And they're gonna be like, "Okay, you guys can leave now," because they're just just not doing anything. And I'm not saying that.
The parallels with that couple.
Yeah, and they
Go
look.
ahead.
I mean, I think they would make for a great couple. I think they have great chemistry together, but I just don't think they would make for an entertaining couple to watch. And I mean, obviously they're real people, so that's not their job. But
Someone needs to eat this man's meat. But the parallels are real because Uchi and Topaz were fucking very. Listen, think about it for real. I'm being real. They're very diligent in their work, in their career. They're hard workers. They're really busy. They're clean individuals. Minori, now that you brought it up, and Emika don't really do much. I guess Emika has a part-time job. We don't know.
we don't know about that.
We've never seen it. It never comes up. But they're just more like, they seem homebodies. She's always, Emika says she always has free time. They're chilling. They're kind of boring, you know? So yeah, there's more parallels there between those two couples than you kind of think about at first blush.
All right, this is like it'll only come out of a drunk cast, but do you think Minori ate Uchi's meat before she ate Uchi's meat?
They definitely they had the sex
Wow.
room. They had the secret sex room in BGITC. They had to have done something besides argue. That's all we ever saw
this
when the camera was on.
Colin signing off for Tadaima Terrace House Podcast.
Colin, you are sober as shit. I don't give a fuck what you fucking say.
I drank more than half a bottle of wine.
Bitch, I'm on 1.5.
I know. I'm on
Let's
like my
go.
fifth
Come on.
beer. You guys are just letting me talk out my ass this week, and now I sound even stupider because y'all are sober.
Oh no.
So we cut to nighttime on the first floor, and it's Ryo and Hana. I haven't read the rest of these notes, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. Okay, so Hana's chilling on the living room, and Ryo comes into the living room from the boys' room and is like, "Oh, hey, I just came back from Osaka. I've got these dojima rolls. Very good. I'm
Oh,
gonna put them in the
hell yeah.
fridge."
Dojima roll.
And this is where you get a very clear shot of Ryo's hickeys here. Like,
Oh,
legit,
yes.
go back to this scene. I do not have timestamps, but it's a scene where Ryo comes into the living room.
Ignore the fact that they're shaped exactly like a mouth. Those are not.
Yeah,
hickeys.
it's
Those are
like
just.
two little spots right next to each other.
He had a mishap with the vacuum cleaner. All right, let's just fucking drop it.
I thought that was for women.
Wait,
Oh, get
No.
out of here. Get the fuck out of here, Robert.
All right, I'm signing off. Bye, everyone. The rest of this
God,
podcast is up to
First
them.
Colin, now
All right,
you.
Anyway, so
But okay, so Ryo puts away the dojima roll, right, and in the kitchen, and then he sees Vivi. She's in the kitchen as well, and he notices her very, very straight, silky, beautiful hair that was just recently straightened and very silky. And it's at this moment that Hana decides that, oh no, my laptop is very low on battery. I must go upstairs to recharge it and go away now.
I must. My people call for aid.
so
I
here's
must
the
go.
fucking thing.
My
Here's the fucking
people.
thing, y'all. So we get this very, very clear shot of this supposed hickey on Ryo's neck. He's wearing like I think a white sweater or something, if I recall right. And he's got like this hickey on his neck. And it very clearly looks like a hickey. So I think Hana's oblivious enough to see that and just assume it's like a basketball thing or whatever. But I don't think Vivi is. What?
Hold on, Colin, can you explain to me what basketball thing would lead you to having
That's-
two little
That's what I'm saying. Like
marks on your on your
it would be a
throat?
ridiculous like assumption or whatever, but I don't think Hana's like very aware of the idea of hickeys or something like that.
Yeah, I don't see
I
fucking.
think she's naive.
That's what I'm
I
saying,
don't
because
think
she would have
that
called if she would do
Yeah, I
if she
mean, come
understood or
on.
had an inkling of what it was, she would have called it out. But what I'm saying is I think Vivi would have called it out because she's probably the most outspoken out of anyone in the house. And the fact that she didn't call it out, or at least we didn't get a scene where she calls it out, is because she's the one who fucking gave it to him.
Thank you. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
That's how I bolster my conspiracy
Shit,
theory.
when you put it that way, actually. Shit.
Yes.
Like,
That's
she was
true.
sitting extremely.
Because
I mean, they
Vivi-
were fucking practically cuddling, dude. She saw it. Like, there's no denying. It was on.
Oh, she
yeah.
saw it, but dude, there's also, listen, man, you're forgetting that sometimes people notice shit, but denial's a strong ass motherfucker. Okay, like you don't want to ruffle feathers. You don't want to ask questions if you're scared of the answer. None of these girls in this house are gonna be like, Rio, you got another side piece hoe on the side, 2-piece and a biscuit, motherfucker. You got another, are you doing something extracurricular? No one wants to ask them that because they're gonna be scared of hearing yeah. So they all think they are viable.
I don't
they all
see-
think they
I
got
don't
a
see-
shot. Besides Emika, I think Emika's waved the flag, but Hana and Vivi are vying.
Because she's the one that was like, let's talk.
Exactly.
I'd really like to hope they wouldn't ask him, "Do you got a side piece hoe going?" I'd like
I
to
would love to
listen-
see that.
Maybe
Terrace
not.
House.
It's a little more classy.
That wording.
Do you have a
Hey,
girlfriend?
bros
maybe?
before hoes. That's what he would say.
Sure. Yeah.
Pepe, we need Pepe's advice.
We need Pepe. We need Pepe back, and he'd ask, "Yo, bro, what's up with those
We need
hickeys,
Pepe.
bro?"
bro, what's up
They would high
what's
five.
up with those hickeys, bro?
That's pretty good.
Oh man. Okay, so after Hana goes upstairs, she goes to charge her laptop. And Vivi and Rio, they decide, okay, let's go watch a movie together. Let's go watch it in the living room. And let's cuddle up together because a laptop's better than a phone, which I agree.
Well, Rio was going to watch the
Maybe
movie
they have a
solo
TV, like in the
on
playroom.
his phone, and
He was.
Yeah.
basically becomes
Rio-
an open invitation for Vivi. And he's like, hey, so do you have a laptop? That'd be easier to watch this.
But before that,
She-
Rio was acting like a straight bitch. He was at that side table, totally ignoring Vivi, looking at his phone. She's sitting there basically holding her knees, like pouting and shit. Like, all right, well, I guess you're not going to talk to me and haven't barely seen me. Guess you don't care, And then he goes, well, I'm going to change, watch a movie on the couch. Didn't really invite her at that point yet,
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Rio was acting like a straight bitch, I thought, this whole time.
Okay, so I was under the impression, for me, at this point in the episode, I thought, okay, Rio and Vivi are fucking. That's where my brain was
Man.
at. That's where my internal headcanon was at.
If only.
So when he said, I'm gonna go watch a movie on the couch, I thought he meant on the playroom couch where you and I can watch the movie together.
Yeah, that's what I would have
and
thought
make
too.
out
Yeah.
as if we had always been making out for the past 4 nights because we're horny individuals.
You thought.
That's all I thought. Apparently.
I was like, is Rubber gonna come back with something?
Yeah.
No,
You got more there, buddy.
His,
no.
They're horny.
I thought they were.
yes.
I thought they were horny for each other, right?
Rio's not horny.
And then, and that's when we come to the couch scene, which you've already kind of dissected a lot. So I'm just gonna go through it really quickly. But they watch through a show together, and then Hana comes down and
She's
is
like, one.
I'm gonna join. I'm just gonna.
She contemplated
be
it, and she
here.
went
gonna
back
be
and
the
forth on
third
that
wheel.
decision like 4 or 5 times because she sits there on the stairs and she's like, oh. She looks over and sees them and she's like, maybe, I don't know. And then she takes her foot off the next step and then backwards and then forwards and then backwards and then forwards and then backwards and then
so
up back
funny.
the stairs and then down the stairs. She's like, fuck it.
The creaky floorboard.
I'm gonna third wheel it. Fuck it.
Yeah, and then Vivi's now got to worry. Can you see it? Can you see it? Are you okay, Hana?
I can't. She
We
was
didn't
third
ask you
wheeling
to
so bad. I can't. And Rio was sitting there with like his hands behind his head, and he's like, God damn it.
But then it's not enough to be a third wheel and make it awkward already. Then she has to like engage in really awkward questioning while they're trying to watch a movie allegedly, and she's
How do
like,
you get a
how do you get a
girlfriend?
girlfriend? Rio's like, I don't know. Ask her. She's fucking such a hit with the guys. She's like, what, me? Like, dude, what a fucking clusterfuck.
Hana's asking the real questions. How do you get a girlfriend at this point? But no, it's such a weird question to ask, especially in that kind of charged situation
Yeah.
where you know for a fact that Rio and Vivi get along very, very well, right? And she just asked straight up into the room, into the ether, how do you get a girlfriend?
I mean, maybe this was a genius ass moment from Hana in the sense that if he answers like, oh, I would like spend time with her on the couch but not take her out, or like trying to see if he's admitting to pursuing Vivi, or also we did get the chance that Vivi pretty much straight up said like that she's pursuing Rio because of the way she's been acting, because that's what she describes as her own strategy.
Yeah, Vivi basically says something along the lines of, I would make my feelings very clear, but I would not make the first move, which is a very amorphic statement. I think that means something different to everyone when it comes to relationships, because the dichotomy between a move versus making my intentions clear probably means something different to everyone.
It's
right?
like Morpheus in the Matrix. Like, I will show you the doorway, but you got to walk in, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Let's not call it a doorway. So
The threshold.
Gross.
that might be worse. That might be
you get
really
the point.
worse.
Quit being gross.
But nonetheless, it's very clear that at this point, Vivi is made absolutely apparent she is interested in Rio. Like, if Rio had done anything that was along the lines of, hey, Vivi, do you want to get dinner? Or hey, Vivi, do you want to do this and that? She would have been like, yes, let's go, because she seems to be into him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so far, at least on Terrace House camera, right? We don't know what's been happening behind the scenes. But on Terrace House camera, Rio has not done anything in terms of engaging on a
it's
date
insane.
or saying,
It's
hey, we
insane to
should do
me
something.
that they've had all these deep conversations. They've hung out as much as they have, and neither of them have initiated asking each other on a date. Like, is it where Rio is so fucking busy that he just doesn't have time? I mean, I know he's only free on Monday nights, and maybe he just wants to relax or whatever. Is he just not making an effort, or is he just worried about like other things? Like, I know the moving to America thing is always on his mind. I know the Honda thing is bothering him. So I don't know. Is he hesitant to make it a formal date thing by asking her out and taking her somewhere? I don't know. I'm perplexed.
I want to point out the only time Rio has even done an inkling of engaging someone on a date, and that was after Hana won one of her matches. I think it was like a championship match, right? And she had suggested, let's go out shopping, and he retaliated with, let's go to the hot springs. I think that's the only time Rio has come close to being the one to say, hey, let's go out to XYZ place.
I'm kind of reserving myself to the fact that they're never going to go on that fucking museum date. I had high hopes for that. Yeah, exactly. I had hopes for that.
Yeah.
How can you shut someone down so hard based on one thing they said one time without going on a single date with them when there's so much chemistry there?
Yeah.
How can you just squander all that? It's just crazy to me.
Okay. Benefit of the doubt, and drink every time I say benefit of the doubt, because I've said it like 4 times.
I need
in the
another
episode.
beer.
Saying it once, like yes, I agree. Like, focusing on one little thing to say no to someone when it comes to relationships is a little rough. But when that one little thing is, hey, I want to move to a different geographic location that's like 13 time zones away from you, I feel like that's kind of a big deal. Like, if I were courting someone who said, hey, I want to move to Slovakia in the next year, I'd be like, okay, that's not going to be a long distance relationship, probably.
I mean, you got to wonder too, things change though, you know, she might not have anticipated feeling this way about Rio, but you know, he basically shot it down like, well, even if she changes her mind, I won't be happy with that. So it's like, she's totally fucked if she does and fucked if she doesn't move to America in a way. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, she said it one time and yeah, it might be her dream, but that doesn't mean that things can't change. It's just the whole fixed endpoints quandary. Like, and I'm really trying not to live my life like that. Like, to just shut the door on possibilities. Like, I think there's a Jim Carrey movie called like Yes Man or something like that. Like,
Yes Man.
Like, what happens if you just spend your life saying yes to everything? Like, you're going to live a lot more life, most likely. You know, and yeah, you'll make some mistakes, and yeah, you might have some regrets, but you're going to have some crazy experiences at the end of that if you just keep an open mind to things. But if you just say, oh, you said that thing that one time, you beautiful girl that I have all this chemistry with, too bad, get lost, you know? It's like,
So,
damn, dude.
Here's the recurring overarching theme with Rio as it stands right now. He doesn't fucking communicate. He gets one hint one fucking conversation or whatever, and he deals in absolutes after that.
Yeah,
exactly.
One whiff.
And then everything's fucked from that. It's like, no, dude, they're fucking people. Sit down and have a conversation. Maybe talk about it. I don't know. Ever heard of talking?
Yeah. You get 2 hours on the couch with her a week. Like, you don't know her.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What really bothers me is that this isn't for lack of like knowing what to do. It's like you've already established like talking to other people like, yeah, I should probably talk with her. Yeah, you're right. That's probably what's best. And then he just doesn't do it. It is kind of like cowardly.
I would argue. Hello. Hi, I'm Robert.
Oh, we were
Hi,
wondering.
Robert.
I would argue this isn't a lack of communication. This is his I'm a liar communication level of some shit. Because this is like when Vivi mentioned, I want to move to America. We've mentioned this before. His response was, yeah, I'd love to retire in America, right? That was the vibe I got in the last episode or two when he was talking about retirement and talking about moving to America. His whole vibe was, yes, America is on the plate in terms of places I'd love to live in the future, right? And now he's turning around and using the fact that she wants to move America as an excuse to not be with her.
Because he's got a side hoe. He's got a side hoe.
And look, I don't want to label him as a liar. Everyone lies. That's just how it is. Santa Claus doesn't exist. Look it up. But
How dare you?
sorry.
Spoilers.
But nonetheless, it's just like if you are legit, if you for real in your 100% basketball boy heart think that if the girl I want to be the mother of my children can't live in America, you should not say to someone who's flirting super fucking hard with you that, yeah, I'd consider moving to America to live with you.
Yeah, where'd he
not even live
yeah,
with you.
with that. Was he?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I mean, what if his side hoe, quote unquote, is actually his parents?
Wow.
Damn.
Now, I know I phrased that in a very
Pornhub,
fucking
so I've heard.
clickbaity headline sort of way. But
Can that be our headline for this episode?
My side hoe is my mom.
Out of context, please check
Yes,
this timestamp.
What if
This
his
is
side hoe is his
exactly.
parents?
And by that, I mean, like, the fact that he's saying, I want to retire in America, but not necessarily live there now, because obviously if he lives in America now and he continues to play basketball and maybe even the NBA, his parents are not going to show up to those games. And that was his whole reason for him being drafted into the Yokohama B Corsairs, because he wanted his parents to be able to show up to his games and he could be close to his family and shit like that. So it could be a family ties thing. It could be as simple as that, but we still have this recurring theme that like the shit's starting to not line up here. We've got a hickey on the neck, and it very well could be either they're fucking off camera or a side hoe. We're hitting a lot of the same points here, but
Are we still talking about his parents?
no.
Maybe.
I
Who
yeah,
knows at this point?
I quit
fucking
paying
his parents.
attention. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, okay, hold on.
Daily,
I
scold this
think-
man. Scold this man.
Is that allowed? No.
I
R
mean,
slash accidental Bama.
according to Pornhub, it's allowed. Who knows beyond that? But I think here is just, it's an unfortunate case of possibly, I might be projecting a bit, but maybe I think Rio's thinking with his dick before he's thinking with
Could
his
be.
brain.
Could be just saying
He's
whatever
thinking
gets him in his
with-
gets him in her pants. But then why is he having second thoughts then?
I'm starting to think
I
he's
don't-
more worried about his image on
Could be.
Terrace House.
Exactly.
Ooh.
He's worried about
That-
how he's being
Ooh.
portrayed. And like I said, also previous episodes, think of what this motherfucker's DMs look like right now on Instagram. He's getting every single woman that wants him DM'd. I'm sure he's got a lot of opportunities. You know, he's trying to, like, I think if he does leave soon, he's trying to leave like with his image intact, so he thinks. And then also, like, he's thinking about all the other opportunities that are before him now because he got that Terrace House bump. And it's really fucking gross to kind of see after we had this with Kenny earlier. We thought Rio was going to be that guy that sees that initiative, but no, it was secretly Topaz. Topaz is the best boy so far of these three.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah, Topaz is the best. Pinoy pride represent. But with Rio, I think it's that, I don't know. I think it all boils down to the fact that he at one point on camera, on film, check the footage, rewind the tape. He did say he would consider moving to America.
He totally did.
And now
You
and now
did.
he's using that as an excuse to not date this girl. That's absolutely.
It's because he didn't have that Popeye's two-piece side hoe at the time. That's what it is.
Oh,
It's absolutely what?
Did you fucking say Popeye's two-piece side hoe?
Yes, I did.
What the fuck? Can you explain that to me?
Said that earlier. When he said that to Vivi, when he said that to Vivi, at the time he was being honest. But I'm saying something happened between then and now that's why he's using this excuse, because he's got a side hoe.
All I'm saying is a real basket boy would get a 3-piece side piece from Popeyes to get the right protein to do his job.
Oh, man.
Listen, I think we're hitting on a lot of the same points here, guys. We're kind of just riding on Rio right now.
going in
Are you the
circles.
voice of sobriety right now, Colin? You shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you drink more.
Bloody.
That's
You
what
shut
you
the
should
fuck up and
fucking
drink.
do.
Fuck you guys.
You fucking fraud.
My point being, I think Rio is using an excuse of geography, which I think is a fair excuse, but it's not fair when you say that you're willing to move to another country, right? But nonetheless, he's using it as an excuse to not date this girl.
Yeah.
Which is kind of annoying, right? I think I'd rather him be, like, if he's truly trying to be a good boy, trademark registered, right?
Good boy.
You should be a real good boy. Once you do one little fuck up, it ruins your whole image, and this is possibly your one little
So here's what I will
fuck up.
say. I think that at the end of this episode, when Rio sits down with Emmy and he's like, hey, so like, what should I do? Should I sit there? Should I actually go to Hana and talk about it? What the fuck's going on, and turn her down? And then should I talk to Vivi? And because like, yes to both questions, fucking do it. And at the end of this episode, I was like, fucking finally, thank you. He needed to hear that because he needs to start making moves. We've been sitting here fucking holding our breath for the past 3-4 weeks now. And so I think this next episode, we're actually gonna get some progress on the Rio front and see what the fuck's gonna happen. However, I think there might be some serious drama that breaks out. I have a feeling. Yeah.
100%.
I think there's gonna be some fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the next episode's called Publicity Stunt.
Oh, that's
I don't
about
know.
Rio. It's gotta be about Rio.
I don't know who's gonna do the publicity stunt and where they're gonna do it, but fuck am I excited to see it.
It's gotta be Rio. Does he leave fucking next episode that soon, you think?
Oh, do you think he just ghosts the house? He's just
Pulls a-
gone.
No, dude. No. The bell rings, ping pong. It's Shohei. He's like, I'm here to pick Rio up.
Oh,
Shit.
He's gonna join me on my golf crusade.
Dude, I don't know, man. I just hate seeing it because I like Rio. He's done a lot for the show, I feel, but like, I hate to see him leave on this really wish-washy note. It's just not how I expected it to go, you know? So that's where the sadness is.
Yeah, and it is crazy because it's Hana that's finally the one, like, I'm sick of this fucking, I'm sick of waiting around. Emmy, would you please go and have a conversation with Rio about this whole thing?
Yeah, how does Rio, and then he's like, yeah, like, well, she says to him, she goes, well, obviously you know what this is about, you know what's going on. And he's like, yeah, how can I not know what's going on? It's like, dude, if you know, then quit acting like you don't know, you liar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about his response to Hana? His idea with Hana is that since she hasn't explicitly said, hey, I like you, he can't say no. And it's like, look, we've criticized her for saying I have fuzzy feelings for you, but that was the signal. That was the moment where she was
so
like,
crystal clear,
obvious.
dude.
Ugh.
Crystal clear.
yeah, that's the moment you know this is a little bit more than friendship and this is possibly romance. That's what at least she wants. And that's the moment you know, if you don't feel romance, tell her, let her know. Because the longer she goes on having these fuzzy feelings, the worse it's going to be.
That's it. The end.
You said it,
Yeah.
man.
Gosh.
Thank you.
That's our
That's the
episode.
end. I feel
Like,
bad for
real.
in a weird way, I feel bad for Vivi at all this. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Didn't expect to be saying that, but I do.
No, I mean, I think that's the whole point of this episode of Tadaima Terrace House Podcast, right? Is that Vivi's been laying it on thick. And the annoying, super thick. And the annoying thing is, Ryo has been responding just enough to make Vivi think maybe.
Man, she's been lathering it
I
on
mean,
like
we kept saying it
it's like
the
a whole
whole
knife of
episode.
fucking
They're
peanut
fucking-
butter, and Rio ain't giving her no bread.
what Colin said.
I'm just gonna let that one hang, Colin.
Confucius
Confucius
says-
says you need bread for your fucking thick layer of peanut butter.
There it is.
With 2 C's. Yeah, it's just annoying that like we picked it up fucking 3 episodes ago, I want to
Yeah.
say, right? Whatever episode it was Vivi joined, right? Fucking she's horny for Rio, man. Like that's 100%.
So
And she's
And-
not looking at the other guys at all. It's all
I think we're
Nope.
gonna find
No.
out, y'all. I think we're gonna find out.
You think he leaves
We're gonna
next episode? Oh
fucking
shit! Well,
find
I'll
out
watch
the
it
next
then.
episode or two if
It's
shit's
clear
going on.
he's already thinking about what's next after Terrace House, right? He's like, well, I don't like any of these girls. It's clear he's got his finger on the eject button.
ejectocito, cuz.
honestly, like from the moment Pepe left, which was what, episode 25,
Mm-hmm.
6 episodes ago, I didn't expect to turn 180 so hard on my thoughts and opinions on Rio, because I thought he was like a chill bro. But
Chill
the fact
bro.
that he
Chill,
isn't,
bro.
yeah, but he isn't. I don't know. He's just letting all of these things stew and
Dude,
fester
listen.
to the point where
I don't.
He was a bro. Now he's a passive. I almost said hoe. Now he's a passive
Passive
boy.
boy.
Either
Yes.
listen,
Passive
I'm gonna
boy.
give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think he's dumb. I just think he's oblivious to what the fuck. He's just lost control of the situation. He honestly doesn't know what the fuck to do.
And I think he has more control than he's letting on. Like I
Right.
keep saying, I think he's just dating someone else and he's just trying to
Maybe.
skirt that issue and just try and leave Terrace House as clean as possible and just leave a bunch of wreckage behind
Yeah.
him.
But I think
Yeah.
we've run
I was
this
gonna
episode dry, y'all.
Yeah,
Daly's gonna
we
say
really
something.
have. Oh, just that maybe he just gives everyone the benefit of the doubt to catch on at some point, but it's like it's been going on for
Yeah.
too long. It's a mercy killing. You gotta at least talk to Hana.
Yeah, you
about
gotta
your
put it down,
intentions.
man.
But yeah, if that doesn't, I mean, like we've talked it to death about. I hope there's some communication happening in the near future.
Amen.
I have 3 questions.
I have 5 questions.
I have 7
Oh
questions.
no! Do you actually?
No.
Daily, you gotta say you
No.
have 9 questions. Daily.
Stop it.
Oh,
Stop
no.
it. Break the chain.
No,
I don't.
I have 3 questions. Really, they're more 3 points. One, I love that Colin's idea of giving Rio the benefit of the doubt is that he's dumb. Like that's the saving grace is that he's stupid. Like I love that
Maybe.
that's your
I don't
idea
know,
of benefit
man.
of the doubt.
I don't fucking know anymore.
2, I think that yes, the whole idea of him turning down Hana, right, to say no, I can't do dinner. Like I think the core of the idea that if I turn her down, maybe that whole let her know that hey, I'm not interested. I think that's fine, but to drag it out and then to say, oh, maybe we'll get dinner. Maybe we'll get dinner. Call me on the day. Maybe we'll get dinner. And then she has to call you like an hour before you'd have to meet up to then decline her. Like, no, dude. Like, if you had known by that point that you're going to decline her, just say no, right? My third question is, what's going to happen on the next episode? Actually, no, my third question is, what are nipples, man?
What are nipples? Can we get into
What are
this?
nipples?
Who came up with the word nipple?
Was
Comedy.
that Jesus?
Ladies and
Did
gentlemen,
he say
comedy.
nipple?
The crowd goes wild. Nipple. He said it, guys. Isn't he so funny?
I'm Googling this. I typed this into Google.
You really typed
I
who
did.
came up with the word
I
nipple?
did.
Dude, congrats. You're on some list that you do not want to be on.
Nipple. Now,
Who came up with
1530s nipple. Protuberance of a mammalian breast. In a female, the extremely... Okay.
We know what it
is.
is.
Yeah, I don't need the definition.
Okay, wait, can you say that language again for me?
Jeez. Mammalian.
In a female... What?
No. 1530s, what was the word after that?
1530s. 1530s. It's NYPPEL. L.
What the
Nipple.
Napoli?
Yeah.
Napoli. Okay, what language is that? Is that Italian?
The Greeks came up with nipple.
Napoleon.
In a female, the
Napoleon?
extremity where
Nipple.
the milk ducts discharge.
So-
Hold on. Alteration of
Well, you're turning me on, dude. You better
15
shut
points.
up.
But here's the thing. Used from 1713 of anything or mechanical part that projects like a nipple. From 1875 in reference to the mouthpiece of an infant's nursing bottle. Okay, that's not an explanation.
100 episodes, everyone.
It's
This is
just
how
a
far we've
nipple.
fallen. We're in the gutter now.
Hold on. Are you saying that anything mechanical that projects a thing that any human would suck on
Can we please
Okay.
stop?
is a
Okay,
nipple?
one final thing.
Can we please
so
move
you
on?
can find us at terracehousepodcast.com. Send any and all questions,
Tadaima on
including what
Instagram,
is a
Tadaima
nipple.
Pod on Twitter. Tadaima. What's our email?
I don't know.
Questions at
Questions.
terracehousepodcast.com.
terracehousepodcast.com. Email us, guys. Why aren't you emailing us anymore? You never write back. Come on.
I thought
we were goofy.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. I love the concept, Jack, that you've thrown out that we email all of our 1,300 subscribers on YouTube every day.
Email us
but
back.
They don't
Come
email
on.
us back.
Check your spam folders, guys. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're all in your spams. No, okay, so I think that brings our coverage of our messy fucking coverage of episode 30 to a close. I almost dropped my wine, which would have been very bad. Yeah, thank you, Daly, for your
I have it.
genuine
I found
concern.
it. I found it. The word nipple most likely originates as a diminutive of neb, an old English word meaning beak, nose, or face, and which is of Germanic origin.
I
Well,
somehow
I'm
got
glad-
dumber with that knowledge.
I'm so glad the fact that I call the Nintendo C-Stick a nubby is very relevant to this conversation. So, yeah, you can email us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. But nonetheless, this has been our 100th episode, which at this point, if you're still listening, I'm proud of you, but also like...
You're the hardcore fan.
You don't have to.
maybe
Also, I would just like
reconsider.
to say Rio one more time, or maybe 3 more times. Rio, 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 Rio.
But to
Bye.
be genuine... Yeah, Daly?
Oh,
You have something?
I said bye.
She's
My-
saying goodbye.
If it's just to be genuine in this moment of sober clarity that I apparently have, honestly, if you've been here since day one,
Yeah.
which I know there are a few of you who have definitely been here since day one.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Honestly, 100%. Thank you so fucking much. When we decided, hey, we're gonna do a Terrace House podcast, we never expected to have this level of response and fandom that we've had, but it's kind of been wild seeing you all join our Discord or email us or join our Facebook group and talk about like the weirdest fucking shit. Not that I'm judging you all. I think it's
You've been
great to talk
judged.
about Tekken and all that. It's no, you haven't. I'm very drunk. But nonetheless, it's been great to just see people kind of join around and talk about this really weird reality show. Like, as all things considered, this is a weird reality TV show. But to see you all join around and talk about this weird show has been kind of cool.
Awesome.
Like, real talk, it's been very cool.
Yeah, I don't know where all you guys are coming from on YouTube, but we've had a lot of people subscribing lately. So thank you very much. Where you've been all our lives, we love you and come on this journey. We started early December 2018. We started with O&D, and now here we are in, what is it? I guess May 2020. And
May
yeah,
2020.
we've got a lot more Terrace House to talk about, even though the show's on a temporary hiatus, hopefully not too long, but with the whole situation going on with current events, but we've got a lot of Terrace House to talk about. So we're going to be here every week, and we're really happy, and we feel very lucky, very blessed to have you with us too. So thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts.
本当にありがとうございました.
Yo, it's still weird when you guys fucking quote us on the internet.
Real talk. When I said, what was it? The
They won't
most
even
recent
quote
thing on
anything
the-
that
of
we
course
say if
not.
we ever have any of those. They just quote the dumbest shit we say.
It's the stupid shit for sure. Like, I think, what was it when I said I was a left-handed man even as a child? That's on Twitter.
I was a left-handed man even as a child.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes it on
You
Twitter.
hit your
and
best
that's-
balls in the morning.
Man-
It's
Yeah.
all the dumb shit
I
Robert
don't know.
says.
No,
so
yeah,
thanks for
but what
that,
I will
internet.
say though, in
Thank
all
you.
seriousness, is that thank you guys for listening, and I hope, if anything, at the very least, this brings you a sense of, I don't know, entertainment, a little bit of an escape from some shit you may be dealing with related to current events, or even whatever's going on in your daily lives. So, I mean, that's all we could ask for is, and the fact that you guys even take the time to listen is already thank you enough from you guys. So, we appreciate you.
For sure.
All right. So enough of the sappy bullshit. We'll be back next Tuesday, as we always are. Whether you're new or you're old, you know that we will be back every Tuesday with you to talk about some weird shit about 6 Japanese people that lived in a house in Tokyo.
It seems like this show, this season, people were not lying. It's fucking doing some crazy shit. It's the
Ooh.
best part of all of Terrace House Tokyo so
Ooh.
far, and it just seems like it's going to get even spicier. This whole shit with Rio is going to come to a head, and I
Yep,
can't
crazy
wait to watch
bastards
and
were
talk
not
about it.
lying. We were heard on Discord and on the Reddit that this group of episodes was going to be fucking nuts and
Good God.
Yeah, it is.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to say here at the bottom, because this is the end of the episode, right? We've definitely noticed all of your requests to do live reacts for future episodes. Normally we would acquiesce those requests, but good God, y'all are requesting for a lot of live reacts. It's a lot. We know that part 3 is a lot. We will do our best. We promise you we will do our best to deliver our best content for you. So look forward, or look ahead for that. Look forward to it. God, I'm drunk.
God.
Wrap it up, Robert.
Man.
Ah.
So we'll be back next Tuesday with episode 31, Publicity Stunt, where Ryo probably does something really weird. Who knows? I don't fucking know. This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Itakimasu.
I got 3 more questions.
If you enjoy our show, please like, comment, and subscribe, and ding that bell to receive notifications when we publish new content. Follow us on social media and check out our brand new Discord server, linked in the description below. See you there.
Okay. All right. So they click the episode. They know it's a big 100th episode. Yeah, let's go. And when they dive in, you're going to hear the music for 10 seconds and they're going to hear us. And that us is going to happen right now.
What the fuck was that?
It's
You're going to hear me eat my mustache.